today we're speaking with Jess Phiri from sellingnaturally.co. And the reason why we're here today is because Jess has very, very kindly agreed to be our case study for our video ads for the whole wide world. And because before, obviously, we used to just help real estate agents. And this year we're taking a change in direction and helping as many people who actually needs it, who we can actually serve. So today I'm going to ask Jess to actually introduce herself and her business so you know who it is that we're working with. So over to you, Jess.
Well, hi everybody, and so I'm Jess. My background is actually corporate, and I'm just starting out right now here in the online world. I used to work in sales since 2015 for high tickets deals, so deals ranging between 3,000 22,000 here, and I have as well a marketing degree. However, it's was really I thought it was maybe a very tough and bad career choice because I really hated what I was taught about traditional sailing. There are some aspects that are really cool, some that I really didn't abide to. And what I realized is when I did this little shift in my behavior and my mindsets in terms of how I'm going to actually be doing these sales calls, how I'm going to appear, how I'm going to be serving people, everything changed. And everything went really, really well. And coming now in the online world, I just realized a lot of entrepreneurs, solopreneurs coming from so many different backgrounds really want to bring something and an impact to the world. And this sales aspect is really icky to them. So I want to be there to help them. I want to help the people go be able to just sell in a way that feels like second nature to them and with integrity. So what I'm here to help with that.
I love that. I really do. I'm exactly the same. So, we definitely collect, don't we?
Yeah.
Today, I'm going to put you over to Daniel because this is a part of our process that we're showing right now with Jess. And we wanted to show everybody what we do when we first meet up. Now, on Friday, we did our beginning of the case call method. This is from Nick Peterson and through Laurel Portie. And so if you want to see what happened on Friday, please just go to our page and have a quick look. It will show you. And today we're doing the strategy part. So we've already done the collect, we've done the audit without Jess. And now we're going to do the strategy together. Now, we did meet with Jess beforehand to speed up the process a little bit for you so we don't have to do a million pages of typing. But we're now going to show you the actual process as it would be. So if you met with us and were interested, this is what we would do together. Over to you, Dan.
Yeah, I'll share the screen and we'll begin. We'll begin by going over the details we talked about on that first call when we were discussing your current situation, what your business was going to look like. Because in your particular case, you didn't come in with an existing business, an existing way to bring in clients. And so that's kind of up in the air at the moment. So one of the things I adjusted for the ad strategy was taking into account you didn't have a defined offer yet, you have a plan for what you're going to offer and a potential client starting in February. But right now, you need a bit more context on what people in your audience need before you go ahead and start promoting and preparing and selling that offer. And then you mentioned your ad budget, which was 500 to around €1,000. So I prepared an ad strategy for that. It's what we call a phase 1 ad strategy, and it will help you both bring in clients with this budget as we go test the ads and go through them, and at the same time it's going to give you a lot more context on what your offer will look like, what problems your ideal clients need to solve as you're stepping into this from the corporate world. So that's that for context, and as we'll go through, I will do my best to answer explain any terminologies I use, make sure there's no terminologies that aren't shared. And if you have any questions near the end, feel free to ask me, and Laura, we can just go through the topics together. Does that make sense?
Makes sense. I'm excited.
Okay. So let's go through. We talked about 3 months and 6 months goal. So I'll reveal this part. And over the first 3 months, We want to work through the ads to get some more clarity and certainty on your offer, as we mentioned. Just a bit more context on what people are exactly looking for. At the same time, we want to build an audience that you can then target. I'll go into the details of what a warm audience looks like in just a minute. And you'll have an audience to retarget people, and you'll start conversations with people. That's how you'll be starting the sales process of actually contacting potential clients, reaching out to them, booking calls. So there'll be 2 ad strategies in place to do so, and 1 ad strategy to reach back out to people, retarget people. And I'll explain as well what we call the magic maths problem in a moment, but that's just for context, what we're working on for the first three months. And then the 6 months goal, you mentioned in your first call that earning 2,500 euros a month would actually make the business more sustainable, that you could continue to invest the business at that point. So at the 3-month mark, I made a note, once you've established what your offer looks like and you have the details for magic maths, just to give you an overview, that's simply knowing, okay, how much do I need to invest in a particular ad or ad strategy in order to get, let's say, X amount of conversations, to get Y amount of booked calls, to get the amount of clients I need. Just knowing what numbers you need in order to take on the amount of clients you need. By
So
the end
again,
of the
it's the base strategy in which I had to build all my business in the end that will help
Yeah,
me
Yeah.
actually
this
know how I
is
can
data gathering. Yeah, exactly. You're going to gather the data that you need, so you know what you need to do in the future. It kind of is obvious when you look at it this way, but a lot of people just think advertising is going to go out there and everything's going to bring magic people, and it isn't. You just need to look at the maths. What worked? What was my end result? What do I need to do next time? Let's get rid of that bit that didn't work at all, but this did work. How many people came from that? How many calls were booked, and how many sales came from that? How many did I win or take on? And was that enough? What can I do again? Is it a repeatable math? Sometimes you get to the end of the 3rd month and you just find that actually that testing period, it didn't go the way I thought it would, but then and even if it didn't, you just look at that information and then you can adjust from that instead of keep doing it. Because a lot of people keep repeating, thinking that, oh, it just must be me or whatever. If you follow the process properly and it hasn't worked, you know not to keep doing that. You'll look at it and then you can shift again. Okay, so you try something new. But the
not just
majority
shove
of
it on.
yeah, but Laurel's already worked this out for us. This is why we love this particular program. Okay, so a lot of time people come to us and we're doing this gurus thing for like 2 years now. We've put in like 10 grand and it hasn't worked, and we're like going, okay, but let's have a look, see what worked, what didn't. Let's like get rid of the bits that didn't work, have a look at bits which were kind of working. Let's see what we can do with that. Now, since you're starting from scratch, Laurel did that a few years ago for us. We know what works, we know what doesn't work, and she's always refining. So it's much, it's like having bumpers, isn't it? So it's
Fantastic.
It's much easier for us having something that's already been tried and tested thousands of times. So sorry, I just wanted to put that in there because magic maths is awesome if you really have a structure in place. If you haven't, you have to test lots of different things over 3 months at a time, we would suggest.
Yeah. Thanks.
Let's get into the details for the step-by-step plan. So I just wanted to let you know this is
Always
overall
suggesting.
what the plan looks like. But if something happens to change or if there's an opportunity, there's other ways to solve those problems. I just haven't included that in the strategy. So that's just for context.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the reason we go through these, once we go through these 12 weeks, and that'll be 90 days, we can look at what we call the magic maths.
Yay, I love the magic maths.
Yeah.
Magic maths,
That's so
what we
cool.
really do is we take one actionable way that we can, for example, take from like what one thing did we do these past 90 days that directly lead to getting clients. And so we practice that method for 90 days and we learn exactly like how much we spent on conversion multiplier ads or how many conversion multiplier ads we did. Let me bring up euros. And every time I bring up euros, it does that because, of course, it does. One moment.
Yeah, we bring it
I
on
can
Spanish.
switch to my Spanish
I
keyboard.
was going to say, if you bring it to Spanish keyboard, just remember when you're writing, if it wants to autocorrect.
So let's say you
Conversaciones.
you wouldn't spend that much on conversion multipliers at this stage. Let's say you spend €200 on conversion multiplier ads. By spending 200 conversion multiplier ads,
I would say
got...
450, to be honest, if it's over 3 months.
Oh, 3 months.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, it's is it a monthly?
No,
Okay,
this is...
450 for the 3 months, okay.
I need to add a little bit more
I was going to
context
say,
here.
and also you want to add a little bit more because the first week we'd be testing 3, so probably about 500.
Okay.
Yep,
Sometimes
we'll
5.
go 500 for a
Yeah,
round
it'd probably be about 500 because there will be days where we've looked at the KPIs, then we get the script back to you, and then you have to record the script. So that's with conversion multipliers. They will, unless you've got one that is bringing comments, we'll go, okay, we leave that one running. There might be times where none of them bring any because it's like people are not reacting, and that's really annoying. But that means that we need to change what it is we're offering. We know from the problem. So as soon as you have conversations, it gets better. Oh, Floof, please don't. Floof
It's
is
just the
kind of,
cat. You don't need to worry.
and then I
Really?
can't see. Okay, excuse the cat.
So
Excuse us having a cat.
the
She's
thing to
fine.
keep in mind is that once you finish your 90 days of working on this ad strategy, you'll know what your 90 days data looks like.
I don't
So
think.
at this
oh, yeah.
point,
Okay.
all of this is blank because there's no
We have nothing.
context
Yeah.
as to if you run these conversion multiplier ads.
Yeah, we don't know.
How
We don't know what you'll get.
how many
so
comments
you've
would
got
you get? If you get this amount of comments, how many conversations? And if anyone were to tell you, oh, run these ads for €500 over 3 months, and you're going to get 200 comments, and from that you'll get like 190 conversations and so many booked calls. They don't know for your particular situation, in your circumstance, in this
Even
particular.
if they had done it themselves or done it for somebody, you can't go with that data.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's not reliable.
No.
I absolutely agree. I find it absolutely fantastic, and it really ties up with the kind of strategy I want to do, because this is where you can think with the magic math, so the way you call it, because I have my own, almost my own with client acquisition, but in the end, I could say, okay, now if I need 5 clients, how many books do I have to call? And I can backtrack. How many books do I have to call? How many conversations I need to have? How many comments it means I need to do? That means how much do I have to put into extra ads or boosts or whatever campaigns is necessary. So it's really great. And as well, you can see where it leaks. Like, how come I have that many conversations and so little booked calls? Okay, there is a gap, and here is where we have to be working on there's a leaky bucket there. Let's actually work on that. Loving the magic maths. So aligns with the way I work. Loving it. I hate numbers, but I love it.
Yeah, I love the fact that you've noticed that you can improve if you've identified something. You can see that you can go and improve that. So if you got in, let's say you had put let's say 1,000 on conversion multipliers because you want to speed up the process, and from that you only got 20 comments. You know that you need to go find the proper problem that they're actually the proper tiny problem. Or let's say that you had got 500 comments. And then from those comments, you only had 3 conversations. We need to identify why that is. And same with at the end, obviously, because you're in sales, a lot of people don't know how to do the sales part, and that's okay. But to be able to identify that, we know that we need to work on that part with our clients, And it just makes everything so much easier rather than going, this just doesn't work, I'm giving up. Because to invest that amount of money and then to give up is just such a waste of time and effort. It's so sad.
The second biggest mistake is, I need more. It means I have to put more money. I need to actually double the amount of money I'm going to put in, but it's not. There's still something that's going wrong more. So this is why hating. I really don't like data. I don't like numbers, but it's such an important thing to go into. So I'm glad that after 90 days I can have some, and it's simple here the way you put it. So looking at it
From Laurel did all the work. We just take it and just use it. So thank you, Laurel. Again. She lets us use this, by the way, just so that everyone knows. We actually have permission because we've been with her a long time. I think about 19, 20 months now, and we know that she knows that we know that she's the best, and we just study everything she does. We're on every call so we can see how it works for other people. And yeah, we take that information and see how we can improve things for our own clients as well, because I want everyone to win. I want everyone to get results. That's my passion. I love people getting results and getting to their goals. It's just something I've always loved. You know, it gives me that warm feeling. It feels like I'm doing
And just
something.
between brackets, you guys were recommended by her. Huh? So I'm talking to you today because she did endorse you, right, into doing this thing. So I know I'm in good hands. And I guess
Yeah, thank you, Laurel.
everybody who wants to come, Laurel said that we can trust these guys. So let's go for it.
That is so true. I don't know what we do without Laurel, to be honest, because it's so hard, you know, to be recognised as an advertiser online right now, unless you have massive. I mean, we've only got 5 years' experience on this particular thing, and before, I mean, it was digital advertising. We've only actually got 20 since May 2023, but we've worked every single day since 20. I don't stop thinking about this. I just focus, like, how can we get this to work for anyone who comes to us, everyone who comes to us, and that's my passion right now. Poor Daniel, I've dragged him along with me. He's
pretty sure I followed along, but yes.
Yeah,
He's still here.
Daniel seems fine there where he is, no?
Just to add a bit of context to what you said, Jess,
Sorry.
we mentioned recording this
Tangent.
for people. I'll give a bit of context. What you described as, you know, finding the holes in the leaky bucket, you can look at it in a different way. Once you know what your magic maps look like, you can see, okay, so if I had 200 comments and I got 180 conversations from that, 90% of those comments turned into conversations. And I got 180 conversations and only booked 3 calls, and from those free booked calls, I got 2 clients. The way that I often look at it is, after those first 90 days, by knowing these numbers, if as you mentioned, it's not always about, okay, I figured this out. It's time to put more money on the front end to get more money out. Because what happens is, even if you let's say you turned the 500 euros into 1,000, and you doubled the amount of comments you got.
That says 100.
I do beg your pardon.
Just so people don't get confused if they're just watching all of
Let's
that
say you put
sound.
double the amount of money on conversion multipliers, and you get double the amount of comments, and double the amount of conversations.
Yes.
Even if you double the amount of conversations, you would get maybe, yes, there's a typo.
I know that you know, but it's just that people are going to be following, that's all. And
This would be much better on a spreadsheet. I'll get a spreadsheet ready.
Our
to
three
share
and
this
a
with
3 and a
people.
2 is quite different when it's in front of 100. As 100 or 1,000, that's the thing, and a 0 and 1,000 and 100 is rather large to me, I found.
Even if you were to double the amount you were spending on the ads, that could be a way to bring in more clients. The thing is to remember is the more you spend money on ads, you get more diminishing returns. And the second thing to keep in mind is, like, you're now spending double the amount of money. This one point, you will still not get the number of clients you could. It would be a lower leverage way of going about getting more clients than if you just, for example, turn this to, let's say, 3%.
Sorry,
If I step back and get all the numbers back to the way they were, if you improve this, say, from 1.3% to 3%, 3% of 180 is about 10 booked calls. And now you got 10 booked calls, which turns into around 6 clients. And you spent 0 extra money on ads.
Yeah, the same amount.
Yeah.
Exactly. This is one of the myths in the Mythbusters that I'm trying to do, is not going, you have to look at exactly the way you positioned it here. It's about the conversion rates that are happening at every step of the journey. Here, in the whole sale marketing/sales journey. And this is that's where you have to improve things.
But you can't make these kinds of improvements until you get your 90 days of data.
Exactly. And that's
Way going.
Good.
Yeah, the other point to this, so also we obviously need to bear in mind, is that as time goes on, we improve anyway, naturally, and so you're going to, you know, if you're doing the right things, that is, you're gonna increase your numbers too. because you'll become more relaxed on your videos, and more people are going to feel more secure because they keep seeing you. So that thing will happen anyway as you go. But also by improving parts of the process that you're identifying don't work so well, obviously you're going to again improve your numbers without increasing your budget. And if you improve those numbers, you could actually reduce your budget if you wanted to, if you find that you're overwhelmed. But never stop your ads completely, because you've put that money in. You want to keep it going, otherwise you've just basically lost. So even if you're having a tough time or overwhelmed, just turn the ad spend down. Don't turn them off. Okay, that's something we learned from Laurel. Is like, no, we've had people come, they stop and start, they stop and start, they stop and start, and they waste they're basically wasting their money. Okay.
Yeah, if they come back after even more than a year, year and a half.
Yeah,
any audience they built is now gone.
Yeah,
and we can't help. There's nothing we can do about it.
Start from scratch, and it's just such a shame. They could have just left them running like the minimum amount of things $1, isn't it, per day? And yes, we don't want to waste money, but it's not actually wasting. You're actually growing your warm audience, and you're reminding them that you're here. And when, of course, like the football pitch, when they're ready, they know to come to you, and you'll get people coming to you from not directly from your online ads. You might have people just pop out one day and go, "Are you still doing this?" And you won't even know where they've come from. They won't even remember that they've seen your ads, but you've been kept top of mind just by doing it. And that is why. I mean, I want to go just over.
Back to context with
yeah,
Jess?
okay, but I want to just talk about like in the UK where nobody came from ads, but they just keep walking in the door. It's really, really strange for physical businesses. I don't know. It's the same with the billboard, leaflets, whatever. It all works together as a huge, marketing. That's how
It is the six, or I think now it's 7 touch points you need to have at some points before somebody buys. So it's just trusting the process. I get that.
I've got a feeling that's gone up again because there's too many ads out there, but you could probably get them on 6, 7, depending where you are. So I don't know. Okay, I've just heard someone say it. So you're probably right, Jess. Okay, sorry, I've gone tangent again.
No matter. Just to wrap up, the context is once you have your 90 days of data, as mentioned, you'll know, for example, how many conversations you need to sell €2,500 worth of offers each month. Then what you can consider is you'll have more options to what you decide to do next. At some point you can decide, okay, maybe having 100 conversations a week isn't quite for me. I'd like to continue having conversations, but it's taking up a lot of my time. You can then switch from having conversations with your ads to directly booking calls. You'll get less people overall than you would with conversations, because there's a bit of a more friction involved. They have to put in their name, email, and phone number, and book a time on your calendar. But you get more time back, so you can actually you can shape more what your business looks like and get some time back.
Awesome.
That's the decision you can make later. And then at that point as well, you can decide to make changes to the ad strategy. At some point, you'll move to what we call phase 2. But again, 90 days of data, so we can make proper improvements in context and reach that goal in the easiest way possible. And at the same time, you get to validate your offer. So you get to learn exactly what people are looking for and build an offer around it. So you don't have to build an entire new course instead of and replace everything. Now that you found that some people are looking for something different.
Would it be a good time to actually talk about the triangle of quality? Maybe show Jess that another time, because
possibly another time. But now we've gone through.
We have gone through
that's
this.
More general for a larger group of people deciding what they want to, what kind of ad strategy they want to pursue.
Yes. Obviously, as you go forward and you're doing more ads and you're putting in friction, you're more likely to get more quality over quantity as well. So that was the other point I always enjoy. Obviously,
Yes, quality. Some of the people starting conversations won't book a call because they won't be the right type of person. Or they won't trust you as much because they're coming from cold. Which is why I added this note in here. Once your warm audience is large enough, once you have enough people watching your videos and seeing your posts, you can take those conversion multiplier ads we mentioned. Instead of running them to a cold audience, you can run them only to your warm audience. Get conversations with people who've been seeing more of what you do, which in turn gets you better conversations because they're like, oh, I know this part. Oh, this makes sense. Rather than, what can you do for me? Give me the free resource, because I'm really, really used to people giving me these and then trying to sell me to their high ticket program.
Yeah. How much does it cost? Yeah, it's really funny. But it's not, I know why, everybody wants to know how much it costs.
So cool. I'll make sure to share this with you, and
Thank you.
I'll give you access so you can make any details later. Okay, so we've gone through the strategy part of things, Jess. I just wanted to ask you, now that we've been through this, on a scale of 1 to 10, how confident do you feel in being able to do this strategy yourself?
I am right now at 9.5. On my own, I don't think I'm in a 9.5, but being able to get to the end of it with a little bit of a kick in the butt when it's necessary and guidance, yeah, I think I can manage to get there. I used to be, when I was in Laurel's thing, that's the thing. I've seen a little bit of this strategy presented in another way beforehand, and I thought this is too overwhelming, but this is like, wow, it can happen. But I don't know if I would be able to do everything alone as quickly. So I would be happy. Yeah, I'm looking forward to actually work on this with you guys.
That's fantastic. Yeah, we can always send you the links as well, so you can have a go at doing this yourself. So we could we'd send you that ROAS playbook that Laurel's recently put together, and it has the step-by-step process. So the links are there for everything you needed to produce in the right order. And obviously, we also can help people out doing like what we call a power hour too. So you could take this away, do the parts you can, and then just go, guys, I'm just stuck on this little bit, and then we book you for an hour, and then you can off you go again. So you could do that. And normally at the end of these sessions, what we always do is like say, go take this document, have a go, get started yourself, do as much as you can, or you get somebody else to help you with this, or you can come back and ask us to work with you and do this for you, work for you, okay? Not work with you, but we are working with you. So you have those choices. So right now, Daniel, did you have any other questions you would like to ask Jess at this point?
Mainly only the question of, Jess, do you have any questions for us?
That's such a really good question.
Yeah, I actually have no questions anymore. It's very clearly stated, and what I'm taking out is that more than just a ad strategy here, I will get at the beginning the content Bible here that I'll be creating that is going to be available for the rest of, at least for the next year, in all the content that I need to put forward, and this magic math. Yes. Where it's going to be everything here. It's this year, the 6, I already know that the 12 first weeks, we're already going to make really sure that the basics of my business is very strong. So that's what I'm taking out of it. Very happy about this. Thanks.
That's brilliant. So there are different places you obviously can get resources for this strategy if you want to do it by yourself, which is obviously Laurel's YouTube channel. Also her book. I'm just going to grab that so you can see. It sounds like I'm selling for Laurel, but I'm just trying to make things easier for people. So that's Laurel's book. You can get it on Amazon. And also, obviously, she's got a $7 program. It did have waiting list last time I saw.
It doesn't have a waiting list anymore.
No, so doesn't have waiting. She's actually trying to help people. Good. And then obviously you've got Lean on Laurel, and she does that with you, as well. So we can help people who want someone to do the ads. But Laurel will show you how to do it, but she won't actually do it for you. That's just really important to actually understand that. So, or you can go find somebody else to actually follow this and use her information. Okay, was there anything else we would like to cover at this point, Dan?
No, that's all. Okay.
Well, Jess, we're going to obviously be meeting up again because you're our case study and we know you're working with us. So let's book an appointment together, okay? And we don't need to do this on this particular call, but that's what we do next if we're working with you, okay? So thank you for everyone's time today, and we'll see you all later.
Thank you. Looking forward.
Yeah, me too.
And then the recording would be stopped if you could find the button.